Hi everybody, it's Dr. Sam Robbins. This week's presentation is about heart disease, and it's for anyone who wants to help prevent a heart attack or stroke. So please take a minute and listen if you are currently or have ever taken a statin drug to lower your cholesterol, such as Lipitor, Crestor, or Zocor, or blood thinners, such as Plavix or aspirin. Now, this is a very important topic because heart disease is the #1 killer in the world, killing more people each year than all the other diseases and forms of death combined. So it's really bad. And it's also known as the silent killer because over 55% of first-time heart attacks or strokes results in death. So there's no warning and there's no second chance to make improvements in your life. That's why you have to be proactive about this right now because there might not be a later. Now, another important fact is that about 50% of people who have a heart attack or stroke actually have normal cholesterol levels. And that's the problem, that most doctors only focus on lowering cholesterol. But obviously that's just not enough because there are a few other factors involved for having a healthy heart. And I'll tell you about those in a few seconds. Now, this is especially important for me because my dad actually had a stroke a few months ago, and I think it could have been completely prevented. Mind you, he lives a healthy lifestyle. He exercised daily and ate well. He had normal blood pressure, cholesterol, and blood sugar levels. And on top of it, he was even taking an aspirin daily based on his doctor's recommendation. So as far as the doctor was concerned, he was perfectly healthy. Yet he still had the stroke. And in fact, the excessive bleeding from the blood thinning of the aspirin caused him to have a hemorrhagic stroke, and he was actually bleeding in his brain. Now, luckily, my mom was home, and she noticed something was off and took him to the hospital immediately. And when I found this out, I was just kind of thinking to myself, what if my mom wasn't around, right? What if it had happened to him while he was sleeping or driving? He literally would have just bled to death or gotten into an accident and died. Anyway, he was paralyzed on one side of his body initially, but he's doing much better now, thank God. But how can you benefit from this experience so you can help prevent something similar from happening to you or someone you know? Now, generally speaking, doctors prescribe blood thinning drugs such as Plavix or aspirin primarily because there is plaque buildup in your arteries, and the opening in the vessels is just getting smaller and smaller. So the theory is that by thinning the blood, it'll be easier to get through the smaller opening because of the plaque buildup. But none of this addresses the main problem, the actual plaque buildup in the first place, and why the arteries are, the opening is getting smaller and smaller. So what you really want to focus on is how you can, first of all, decrease the plaque buildup and then increase the opening in the vascular system so you have better blood flow. Second, you want to strengthen the walls of the arteries and your blood vessels so we don't have to worry about getting a rupture or tear in the future. And obviously, we want to prevent future buildup of the plaque and the calcium buildup. That's the secret because you don't want to keep thinning the blood while the plaque continues to build up, as you age and the hole gets smaller and smaller. Only focusing on thinning your blood is actually a faulty way to fix this problem. It's more of a quick fix, and it's actually a temporary solution. Now, just think about your pipes and plumbing at home. If the water isn't going through your sink as easily as before, you don't decrease the water flow or thin the water just so it can go through. Of course you don't. You put some Drano cleaner or utilize a tool or hire a plumber to clean the pipes and open the hole back up by removing the buildup such as hair or whatever is blocking the flow. Now this is just logical and common sense, and that's how you should be dealing with your own pipes and vascular system. Now the sad part is that a few years ago I told all this to my dad and how he can actually naturally improve his blood flow and strengthen his arteries with just special herbs, vitamins, and amino acids. He didn't need drugs, but he refused to take my solution and said, hey, my doctor knows best. He doesn't want me to take anything other than the aspirin or maybe Plavix. Besides, aspirin is easy and it's cheap and it's been around for 100 years. Now, unfortunately, my dad is just, very stubborn And that was the end of that discussion. So I never brought it up. Until recently when he had his stroke, and now he has a new doctor, and now he's finally listening to me and is taking a special all-in-one natural remedy called Blood Flow Optimizer. And the reason his doctor is happy with Blood Flow Optimizer is because the formula takes care of this problem by creating a complete and proven solution. By first, it naturally thins your blood and helps improve circulation. It also helps move calcium and other excessive minerals out of your arteries, so this improves better blood flow. It also promotes strong, flexible blood vessels, which helps prevent ruptures and tears in the future. It provides a strong defense against inflammation, which is a major cause of strokes. It also helps move heavy metals and toxins out of your arteries. It supports proper fibrin function and normal clotting, which results in better blood flow. And finally, it fights free radical damage throughout your entire body, which is anti-aging benefits. Now remember, your goal is to have clean, healthy, strong, flexible blood vessels and arteries for maximum and optimal blood flow. And Blood Flow Optimizer does all this, and it's all natural, it's scientifically proven, and it's easy and convenient. Most importantly, it works because it's a complete all-in-one formula. So there you have it. If you want improved blood flow throughout your entire body and also help reduce the risk of a heart attack or stroke, try Blood Flow Optimizer. And of course, it comes with a 1-year satisfaction guarantee, so there's no risk for you. Now, in closing, I'd like to say one last thing. I'm not here advising you to get off any drug. You should always speak to your doctor first. But doctors are human. They make mistakes. They don't have all the answers. Most are just busy, and they don't have the time or even the desire to seek out natural alternatives when drugs are just so easy to prescribe. But you do have choices and options, and you must take control of your own health. Let's use some common sense and first utilize natural methods for a healthy body. Listen, if you don't use Blood Flow Optimizer, what will you use? And more importantly, when will you start? For the first time, you now have access to an all-natural remedy which really does work, and Blood Flow Optimizer is backed with clinical and scientific research for proof. In fact, we have additional information for you on this page so you can make an educated decision on the facts rather than marketing hype. Remember, having healthy cholesterol levels and lipid profiles is just half the battle. Make sure your arteries are also clean and strong so you can live a happy and healthy life for many, many more years. Thanks for listening, and I'd love to get your feedback. Try Blood Flow Optimizer risk-free right now while it's fresh on your mind, and then email me and let me know about your results.